Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Tiny Desk Contest Top Shelf. I'm Bob Boilen. I'm the creator of Tiny Desk Concert Series and the creator of the Tiny Desk Contest. Before we get started, I want to just take a moment and thank our sponsor, State Farm, for supporting the Tiny Desk Contest and Top Shelf Series. State Farm believes in supporting communities and musicians nationwide. And after all, musicians and music has the power to unite us, whether it's in person or online. State Farm would like to thank the amazing artists of the Tiny Desk Contest and all of the good neighbors out there who are tuning in at home, wherever home is. Your creativity and action gives us hope and happiness. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So the Tiny Desk Contest, for those who don't know what the contest is, uh, first of all, the Tiny Desk Series is a series of concerts that happen at my desk in Washington, D.C. at NPR. And each year, for the past six, we've been doing this contest. And the winner of that contest gets to play a Tiny Desk Contest concert at my desk in D.C. Um, it's an amazing thing because we get artists from all over the country, all sorts of genres, age groups, everything. We get 6,000 or so entries every year. Our Tiny Desk Contest winners have gone on to win Grammy Awards and play music festivals all over the world, travel all over the world. They get signed to major record labels. It's really a life-changing thing for the winners, but it's also pretty amazing for the people who enter to be seen, uh, even if you're not a winner. Like today, we'll have five contest entries that we're going to play for you. And so many people will see these entries who would have never known these artists before. And that is a really exciting thing. Usually we're out on tour, traveling the country and bringing many of the local regional artists to, let's say, if we're playing Seattle, we'll bring regional artists from Seattle who have entered the contest this year for obvious reasons. We're doing something different, and that's Top Shelf, where since we can't travel, we're going to just pick, and our judges for the past 5 weeks, and now this is our sixth, are choosing some of their very favorite Tiny Desk Contest entries. So we're really, really thrilled about that. And so today's contest judge is a musician who's actually played the Tiny Desk, and we welcome Gina Chavez. She's an amazing Austin artist, Latinx pop star, 12-time Austin Music Award winner, 2015 Musician of the Year, 2019 Best Female Vocalist. I loved her Tiny Desk concert that she did 2015. It's been seen over 1 million times. Welcome, Gina.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to be here. How are you doing?
I'm holding up well. Are you in Austin? And what's life like been for you?
Yeah. Well, I think it's been tough and kind of a blessing. I'm definitely one of those artists that was on the road a lot, and so I was literally fly dates every week. Out Wednesday, back Sunday, out Wednesday,
Wow.
back Sunday. I have a part-time job, and so it's a lot of things. And so it's actually been really nice to kind of be forced to be home and get to spend time with my wife.
That's beautiful.
And I also ended up putting out a record in quarantine. So that's been really, really exciting.
Tell me a bit more so folks know about this, or tell
For sure,
everybody.
yeah. So this is my first all Spanish album. It was supposed to be a full length, but coronavirus. So we decided to go ahead and put out an EP. It's called La Que Manda, and which essentially means like she boss or the woman in charge.
Nice.
And it's really it's my own journey of a woman coming into her power and understanding what it means to live in a world that tells women to be small, to make our voices small, to be quiet and pretty and subservient, and my awakening to the fact that that is BS.
Yeah,
um,
I
you
don't hear
know,
that in your music, but yes, thank you.
well, and I think that's the thing. I do think that even this record, I feel like it's kind of like looking at your best self and knowing that you're not that all the time. But it's really exciting because it's my first all Spanish album, and it's just been submitted for Latin Grammy and Grammy consideration, which
Awesome.
is very exciting.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have lots of blessings to celebrate right now, even though we have a lot to work to do in our country.
and you've been watching Tiny Desk contest entries.
I have.
That is a fun way to look. You don't have to be a judge here. For anyone out there in the world, npr.org/Tiny Desk contest, you can go down a rabbit hole right after the show and just see some of the most amazing artists and talent of all sorts. You'll discover stuff guaranteed, and you'll have fun. Right?
Yeah, no, it's really interesting too, because I'm sure we're gonna talk about kind of what we were looking for and stuff in the
Yeah.
music, but it's so interesting because I feel like this time has definitely changed how I'm listening to music and how I'm needing music. Um, so that's definitely kind of affected the artists that stood out to me. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm kind of one of those artists that um music for me is something that I started because I was good at it. It's not necessarily something that I had to do in order to just be a human and be in the world.
And your first
And I feel
instrument was what? Your voice or
voice, yeah, for sure.
guitar?
I play guitar. I play a little instrument called a charango, but I would definitely say like this is my
Yeah.
first instrument and always will be. But I so it's just interesting because I feel like music is teaching me so much more now, um, as just as a woman that is growing in a lot of ways. So
Well, you mentioned voice, and I certainly, when I think about your choices, and we'll start with our first one, Ada Dyer, voice is the centerpiece for sure.
oh my gosh, I know. There's definitely I definitely feel myself connecting to the emotion of all of these artists. And those emotions I feel like are pretty varied. But man, a voice like Ada Dyer, I don't think you can walk away from and not sit there drop jawed for at least a few seconds.
How about this? Let's play this song,
Let's
Blood
do it.
Sugar. We'll come back and talk about Ada Dyer and what you loved.
The devil smiled and said to me, "You don't want my sympathy." He tucked his tail and turned to leave and said, "You won't love easily." His blood sugar
A little
Uh,
sleepy, but otherwise,
I like needed. I was just like, yes, like come on,
Yeah.
Ada.
Wow.
She's such a force, and I think, and it's so funny because obviously, the judges are often, we're watching these videos and we don't know the backstory. And so we have a little more of the backstory now. And man, Ada Dyer, she's exactly the kind of artist that should be a household name.
Right.
She had her recording debut in 79 on Norman Connor's album. She sung with Sting and Lenny Kravitz and Luther Vandross. And yet, of course, a lot of us do not know her name. And so, especially it's hard to be a woman in this industry. It's even harder to be an older woman of color. And, I think that she's exactly the kind of voice that our country needs, always, but especially right now. And so I'm so glad that we got to rock out to her. And she's got a new record coming out this year, I believe.
Her
So
first solo record, from what I understand. So, folks who don't know, the contest is open to people who are unsigned artists. They may have been signed 20 years ago, or may have done stuff, but if they're eligible if they're unsigned artists. That was true of Fantastic Negrito, by the way, whose music is not so dissimilar. And he was an artist, our first contest winner. He was an
mhm,
artist who had a major label contract in the late 90s, but long time since then. And
right.
it's really great to well, it's a great opportunity for people to hear this artist who I know I wouldn't have heard of otherwise. I mean, I remember the drummer Norman Connors records back in the day, worked in record stores back then, and remember,
Mm,
but I didn't know her, and it's thrilled to do that. Thrilled to know her.
yeah, for sure. And her band, can we just say that her band's also
Please,
really
yes.
incredible? Oh my gosh. So
So
good.
let's go to Deanna Gamaris, and she's somebody who we have had. She's entered the contest a number of times before, and someone who we brought to uh, our show in Petaluma, California when we went there, and I was pretty thrilled to see her enter again.
And if you go, I actually encourage everybody to go look up all her entries because she does such an incredible job. She's so artful, not only in her music, in her playing, in her lyrics, but also the craft of each of these videos.
Yeah,
And the sentiment,
and they're all different.
yeah, it takes you to such a different and special place, every single one of them. So I've been a fan of Deanna Gameros for a while, and so I'm very excited to be able to watch her entry and get to talk to her.
So let's play Amor a Todo, and she will be on. Deanna will join us after the video for conversation.
All right.
Quando Recibo de la luz su brillo, el miedo vuela y lo derrito con él. Recuerdo de tu voz, el sol me cubre con su abrigo, el gris se rinde, ya no hay frío en un segundo luz, ya estoy contigo, recibo de la luz su brillo, el miedo vuela y lo derrito con él. Recuerdo de tu voz, el sol me cubre con su abrigo, el gris se rinde, ya no hay frío en un segundo luz, ya estoy contigo. Cuando la luz nos cure el dolor, mi pueblo será una estrella eterna.
Mm.
Deanna Carramos. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish. All I know is she was singing about something she absolutely dearly loved, and it looked like the way the eyes would kind of go into the head that it was something she loved in her past that was with her in the present. I'd love to bring Deanna to join us, and we can talk about the song. And
Right. Diana, how are you?
Hi, Gina. Hi, Bob. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
gosh.
much for having me.
yeah,
It's
that's
so good to
quite-
have you on and to see you again through the ether.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you for
start by
having me.
just helping people like myself who don't know what the words were, but kind of felt the sentiment. Tell us about the song, and then I'll let Gina take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I made an attempt at translating a little bit. So for those of you who don't understand, and it's really short, so maybe I'll just read a little bit of the translation that I
Right.
attempted to do. When the light heals your pain, your body will be an eternal star. When the light covers all your pores, you will live in truth and you will name everything love. I receive from the light all its brightness. Fear freezes what it touches, but I melt the ice with the memory of your voice. The sun covers me with its coat. The gray gives up, no more cold. In a light second, I will be with you. When the light heals our pain, my people will be an eternal star.
Diana, thank you so much. I can tell even in just speaking the translated words that this is a topic that's very close to your heart. I don't know if you want to share a little piece of that, but I do know that this is a story of loss, but also a story of hope, and then of reconnecting, and so I think that's as somebody else who kind of on a kind of the different side of your world. I also sing bilingual music, but I come from it as Spanish is my second language, and I find so much, I find a different voice when I sing in Spanish. And so I wonder if you might talk to me a little bit about what it means to sing in your native language, what it means to be an immigrant and to, have kind of your feet in two worlds and maybe none at all.
Yeah. Well, Spanish is my first language, and I did not learn English until I was 13. And so, and even when I learned English as an immigrant, I kind of kept going back and forth between Mexico and the United States. And so I really do feel closer, like my soul language, I think is Spanish. So whenever I have to express sentiments that are really profound and that have to do more with spirit and with soul, I think I I I write in Spanish. And yeah, and this song specifically actually came out when I first heard of the disappearance of the 43 students.
Mm.
And I remember I was trying to make peace with, or just trying to find an explanation for how something so dark could be happening to my people in Mexico. Because I think even if it was not like our own community, it was such a tragic and painful news, and that I think it kind of hit me personally, because at that time I was still undocumented, and it was hard for me to not be able to feel like I could somehow be part of that. I mean, I know that it might not make a difference for a lot of people, but like for me to not be able to be in Mexico, be with my family, when this happened, and also when other losses have happened in my life, I think this song kind of came out as a way to invoke the light amidst the pain and the darkness that I was feeling. I'm kind of a sensitive person, so even though I didn't know these students personally, it felt like a pain of my own. And now that I've experienced the loss of loved ones, I actually added that last verse too, as a way to really remember and remind myself that as we remember those who we loved, and as we remember their legacy, we are invoking their presence and their luminous spirit. Because to me, that's, I love to believe. It makes me feel good to believe that people that have passed on, they have passed on to a world that it's much brighter than this one. At least that's what helps me cope with with the loss, and it feels me and it heals me. And so this song has become a sort of a prayer and a meditation to remind me of that love and that light that we can see amidst any dark moment that we might be going through. And especially today, I want to dedicate this viewing to my friend Maria Martinez. We just lost her yesterday. I received the news. And so may her spirit be among us.
Wow, Deanna, thank you so much. I feel like I could listen to you sing and play and also talk forever. I feel like that you said the phrase invoking the light, and I was like, that needs to be like the way to describe you, is like that is exactly what I feel like you do. And the other piece I want to say is that your guitar playing is impeccable.
Oh, thank
The
you.
arpeggio that you are doing throughout that entire song, my friends, that is not easy. And you just make it look so effortless, and it feels to the point where it feels like a prayer. It feels like breathing. It feels like light coming into darkness. And so I'm just such a fan of your art. And I do think right now too, I don't want to go down a deep rabbit hole of a conversation, but I do think that right now, obviously our country is going through a reckoning. We are talking about, obviously like Black Lives Matter. We are reckoning with white privilege, but I do feel like as a Latina, I feel like oftentimes the Latinx voice is lost in that, and not just the Latinx voice. We're also talking about um, people from Asia. We are talking about all kinds of other other ethnicities, other races. that have come to this country and made incredible advances and I don't know, brought such diversity and beauty to our culture. And I do feel like right now I'd like to see more of those voices united, in what's happening right now. So I don't know if you have any just even surface level thoughts about, again, what it means to be, you now have legal status, but you know what it's like to be an immigrant without papers in this country. And your voice, musically matters, but I also just wonder if you have any thoughts for us right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think stories have to be told, whether it is through music or through writing or through conversations like these, right? I think the more we share our humanity, or what are the elements that make me, right? With everything that implies. And I think, yeah, it's important for me to identify as a Latinx woman, as an immigrant, and also identify myself as a human being, right? I am more than an immigrant. I am more than a Mexican woman. I am more than a Latinx person living, and I think that as we share our stories, I think it's easier to find commonality that in the end will help us be more empathetic. Because I think in the end, what we need is to be able to show up for one another. And maybe if we don't do it, it's because we don't think we relate to that story. But the more we share, the more we have spaces like this. And for that, I'm truly grateful. Thank you so much, Bob, Gina, and everyone who's making these conversations possible and these viewings possible, because I think they are a platform, like you say, for us to tell our story, for us to tell our own story. It's so easy to get bombarded with all the ideas that media or other people have of us, but what do we have to say about ourselves? And I think, yeah, it's important that we do so. So grateful for all the platforms allowing us to show up.
If people want to spend time with your music, and as so many artists, they're not touring, they're not doing the thing that helps them bring in income, what are the ways people can hear you and support you?
Yeah, I think, well, just going to my website, dianacarramos.com, or you find me on all the social media platforms under this name. And come by and say hi.
It's really been special. This is how many years now for you, Tiny Desk Contest?
Well, since the beginning, six
right?
years, I believe. Yeah, yes,
and
yeah. And
this so amazing and different. So I encourage people to do the web search and go back and look at some of these other revealing things that we have fallen in love with over the years.
Thank you.
Well, and I also think it's a good reminder to people that it's so much about just keep doing what you love. You're not necessarily gonna get the result you want, every time, but then you've created a legacy, and that's kind of what I feel like. Even your entries are like a legacy, and they're so beautiful.
Yeah, I feel almost embarrassed to say it, but I almost don't submit. I was so, this was in the middle of quarantine, and I lost my dad in January. So when I came back, it was just kind of a big emotional, my mind was busy, my body was busy, but my soul was busy too. And I remember submitting this video a minute before the deadline came up, because something told me I need to, and I was going to record another song. And I remember sitting at the desk and sort of invoking my dad's spirit, and I started singing this song. This was not the song that I was planning to do, and then it went through 1 minute. I even have a screenshot of, I shouldn't promote procrastination, but anyway, just wanted to tell you a little bit of that story. Anyway, thank you so much.
I love it, Deanna. Much love. Thank you.
Much love to you
next
guys.
Year. Take care.
Bye.
Wow. She isn't, by the way, the only person who submitted it at the last minute, but that's
oh my God, that's the story of my life.
I love it, and I love her submissions every year. I look forward to them now. So I don't know if she's still listening, but you got to do it again next year, because we're looking for it.
Claro, claro.
Yeah, thank you. So our third song, let's go with it's called "Good Egg" by Ramagoo. What do you know about this? What attracted you to this?
Well, I'll tell you this. So it's so funny because I definitely love, like, I love rhythm. I love, I want energy. And this song is kind of like not
Not
the
that.
type of song that I would normally go for. And
Right.
I'm telling you, Bob, like, I could not get the whole image of this video and the song and the story. Like, it kept coming back to me, and I kept thinking about it, and I was just like, there's something about that, this it just like drew me in. And
Excellent.
he's like the opposite kind of performer that I am, and I just loved it. I am like enthralled with this video.
Awesome. Let's play "Good Egg" by Ramagoo.
Right.
Please forgive me, I fucked up again. I didn't mean to act a fool with your friends. I very nearly pitched a perfect game, but the rain delayed my glory. I almost caught you having fun, but my big dumb mouth kept on prattling on, giving voice to words that were best left inside my head. It's not enough to have good intentions. I gotta work to be the best that I can. A good egg, I just wanna be. A good egg, I just wanna be. A good egg, I just wanna be. The savage ways we get along, the savage things we have said and done. We savor what's been salvaged from the words we left unspoken. There ain't no way to replace the truth that you're a foreign city without a map. And I've been walking around without a sense of where I'm going. All my dreams are all about you. I don't ever wanna live without you. Good egg, I just wanna be. A good egg, I just wanna be. A good egg, I just wanna be. I never claimed to be a perfect human. All I want is to do right by you, yeah. A good egg, I just wanna be. A good egg, I just wanna be. A good egg, I just wanna be.
Oh my
So
gosh.
good. The good egg.
I so love that. That's Anders Kapoor is the name of the singer. Um, his sister Izzy is the one who made that impeccable desk. That
Yeah.
was pretty great. And look, I've seen this video now a number of times as I have a lot of these. But it wasn't until somebody, and I can't believe I didn't see this. It wasn't until somebody in the chat room pointed out that they were egg colors, that they were dressed in
See?
yoki and eggshell white. How did I
I
not
know.
see that? Thank you.
It's well, and I think I had the same reaction. Like my first reaction was just like, it's obviously shot very well, and it's
Yeah.
very, I don't know, it's very cinematic, but very simple at the same time. I think somebody actually in the chat was mentioning that the way that it's mixed makes you feel like you're in the room, so it
Right.
feels very intimate.
Which is a
And
small
there's,
apartment, by the way, we're
gosh,
told.
and Anders' delivery is it's so deadpan. Like again, like I am not that kind of person. Like it would be so hard for me to just like deadpan sing to a camera. And it's so captivating. I just literally I had gone through all these entries and obviously watched like, 100 some odd videos, and that one just kept coming back to me. And I also love the first few lines of it. They're so relatable. This idea that's like, oh, I messed up again. I like said the wrong thing. I was trying, and the
Right.
whole point of the song is like, look, I'm not perfect,
Yeah.
but I just want to be,
Meanwhile.
I just want to be a good egg,
Yeah.
So
great.
I love it. I love this song. I think they did an incredible job, and I can't wait to hear more of Ramagoo's music.
And anyone who wants to go back and watch the video again online, the unfortunate placement of the name into the lower right covered up as Anders has pointed out to us, that his sister Izzy, who's singing on the right hand side, that her socks. Well, they'll hold a secret. I'll just say that. And then
Go
people
watch
can go
again.
back and watch it. We're going to go now to our fourth song.
Right.
It's called Poor Man's Pain. Why don't you introduce us to this?
For sure. I think again, this is another, a powerhouse voice, but with a message that is just incredible. And I didn't understand the backstory, again, which I think maybe I'll save till after the video. But this is a song about freedom. This is a song about the injustice of the prison system in our country, and just done so powerfully by Danielle.
So this is
Let's check it out.
Danielle Ponder, Poor Man's Pain. And when we come back, we'll bring Danielle on. Yes.
Did the crime pay more than time? Time and time and time again. Land of laws for the darker man. Freedom comes too slow. I could give up if the blood wasn't in me. I could give up if my soul wasn't with me. I'm pressing on, one day I'll see the sun. Oh, I'm calling out to the heart of this land. Who's gonna listen to a poor man's pain? And I'm reaching out again to anyone with the will to understand. Oh, yeah. You see, longer nights and lonely days, count them down, but they never fade. Gotta remember who I used to be. I hold tight to what's left of me. Cold are the days where nobody sees me. Cold are the nights where the world doesn't need me. Won't be long, I'm coming home. Ooh, oh, I'm calling out to the heart of this land. Who's gonna listen
Oh,
You pick another winner. Wow. Really
it's
made
like
me.
it's like a release. I'm sitting there just like, ah, just like exactly what, especially being in quarantine. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going crazy sometimes, and this song feels like it just like is just like bringing all of that out in such a beautiful, amazing way, and also speaking to such an important topic. Oh my gosh, yes.
So it's Poor Man's Pain. Danielle Ponder uh, is the artist, and let's bring her on. This song feels like such a moment in time, just so perfect for this time. So thank you for that. I was curious when you wrote it, and I know some of this is close to your heart.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I think it's a song that I've been wanting to write for a couple years. I'm a former public defender. My brother was incarcerated and spent 20 years in Attica. But Willie Simmons' case was like the push. Willie Simmons is a man who's still incarcerated in Alabama for stealing $9 in 1982. So it was just something about that case that really pushed me to write this song. And yeah, it became so relevant, which, even if I hear it now, I could tear up because I think about the fact that Black and brown folks are still fighting for their lives outside of the prison system, right? So it's just been an interesting journey that this is the song that I wrote in this moment.
Can I just ask a quick question? Has Willie heard this song?
Yes, he has. So I reached out to Beth Shyburn, who is the reporter who broke the story. I shouldn't say he heard it. He's seen the lyrics, but she was able to get him the lyrics to the song.
I
Yeah.
hope he gets to hear it.
Oh, but I know even that, just like the fact that he wouldn't be able to hear you sing it is, oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, well, and I have to say that I'm somebody that, unless I hear somebody's story or can kind of walk in their shoes, a lot of times I don't get it, right? And so not only does your music help do that, but also I do have a loved one also that's incarcerated, and so I have, hearing this song was definitely more meaningful for me because I also know that, when we incarcerate somebody, we're also incarcerating the people that love them.
Mhm. Mhm.
They also get treated as if they're subhuman, and of course, the person who's incarcerated is treated as subhuman. And anyway, so I just the message of the song, but then also knowing that, as a public defender, I mean, you've been living the message of this song.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I worked for 5 years. I actually quit 2 years ago to do music full time, but I've probably represented 2,000 people. And the majority of the people I was representing was for misdemeanor offenses. And I think that's one thing I really want to do is dispel this notion of what it means to be a criminal. And that's why I start this song with saying, yeah, I did the time, but I did the crime, but I paid more than time. Because I think when we talk about the justice system, we love to talk about, the Innocence Project or people who didn't commit the crime. People feel comfortable with those stories. But there's folks who, they did the crime, but being incarcerated is not only about the time that they spend, it's about the dehumanization that they go through, being away from their family or just not having your own sense of agency. So I've just seen this revolving door in the criminal justice system, and I want to try to tell that story, whether I'm speaking it or whether I'm singing it. I want to continue to try to highlight it.
Yeah, and I think that it's also, how you just said it, that it's like we all make mistakes for one, and some of us have the privilege to make mistakes and some of us do not, or some of us have the privilege to make certain types of mistakes,
Or some of
and
us are
some of
under
us,
magnifying glasses
right,
more than
right.
others, and some are.
And then, like you said, it's like, oh man, that intro, I was, telling you during the song, it's like the intro, it makes me want to go hear the song again because the song is incredible, but that intro, I'm just like, that is so powerful and just really gets to the heart of the matter. And once somebody has like paid their, done their time, then it's like, at what point do we accept them again?
Yeah, I
Right?
think, I'm really into restorative justice and how the community can actually bring people in instead of shutting them out, because we end up exacerbating a lot of the issues that the person already had. Like my brother told me the first time he saw someone murdered was in jail. It wasn't in the hood. So we have this concept as if harm doesn't happen in prison. And it does, and it causes trauma for people, and it impacts them when they get out. So yeah.
Well,
Were
thank you
you-
so much.
Yeah, I was curious whether before you were a public defender, were you singing and then you did this amazing job but always had this in you? Did you continue singing? Like, it just sounds like you've been doing this a really long time.
Yeah, I've been singing for a long time, and it was like a side hustle. And then in 2018, it just got to the point where I felt like I needed to take a leap of faith and just quit and really focus on the music. And so that's what I did, and I'm happy I did it.
How'd you find out about the contest, by the way?
Oh man, we actually applied years ago, and maybe I think it was the year, I can't remember who won. It was maybe like 4 years ago. And then I kind of just was working, and then I saw Tank and the Bangas, and I loved theirs so much. I think that's where a lot of folks, like especially in community of color, like to see that group, like really inspired a lot of us. So I would say, like, although we had applied before then, she was the one that was like, man, I got to try this again.
Yeah.
We'll pass you on to Dariana. I'll let her know.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that's the power of representation.
Mm-hmm,
You know,
exactly.
that it matters so much. Seeing yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, but Danielle, how can people find out more about your music? Do you have a new project? What is going on in your musical world?
So I'm on Instagram at Danielle Ponder Music. I'm coming out with an album allegedly sometime in the fall. And I also would just love to tell people that you can sign the petition against the Alabama habitual offender law. If you go to my YouTube video, I've actually, since this video, I've been in contact with more individuals in Alabama who have a similar story. So I really like to highlight that they're looking for support in folks who can sign the ACLU's petition.
Great. Thank you for that.
Thanks for your great work and your great voice and giving voice to those who don't have voice. So
thank you guys so much for having me.
it's really beautiful having you. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
Danielle.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Right. Oh, so many
Really
amazing people.
Fantastic choices. You want to take us out on one more?
Yes. So this last song is I want to get her name right. It's Michaela Janae, is that right?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. So I'm a cradle Catholic, still a practicing Catholic, also married to a woman. That's a whole nother video for another time. But when I saw the title of this song, it's called The Annunciation. And obviously, being a Catholic, I was like, oh, that's an interesting title, because the Annunciation is when the angel Gabriel comes to Mary and says, hey, you're going to bear the Christ child. And she's like, what? And so what was so cool is that not only did I have this story in my head, and then I started listening to the song, and that's exactly what she's evoking. She's evoking this idea of being pregnant with a gift, and that gift is her singing. And, Michaela talks about how she, kind of even at a young age was scared of that gift, and that she really felt like she got kind of a call from God that said, hey, you're meant to do this, and you need to not be freaked out by it and just say yes. And, I really feel like for all of us, if we can tap into that inner voice that says, do it, even though it's hard, do it, even though it's scary, say yes. And so I feel like she does that for us.
And for a lot of people who entered the contest, we've heard this over and over again, where they hesitant, they don't want to do it. And by doing something like this, and not just the contest, but just accomplishing, just making a step, marking time, making a video makes it so much more tangible. Getting your friends together, finding that videographer, just all of that it's a way to make your life closer to what you in the back of your mind might think it should be. But if you don't take the steps, there's nothing to lose. So it may be a while before we do the next contest because they're yearly, but find things in your life to do to make a mark in this world.
Well, and even it's kind of like exercise, I think none of us would say, okay, cool, I'm going to go bench press 200 pounds tomorrow because, you can't do that. Like you have to work up to it.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, I know for me as a songwriter, I used to be the kind of person that was like, oh, I'm only going to write when I'm inspired. Well, guess what? When your life is busy and
Doesn't work
whatever,
that
like
way.
you don't get inspired. So you have to work the muscle.
Right.
And I think even doing something like this contest, it pushes you. And so, I mean, even just setting goals for yourself, saying, look, I'm going to put out 2 videos before the Tiny Desk contest comes around next year.
Right.
And that way I've worked the muscle a little bit and it doesn't seem so scary.
I
I think Michaela even is a great example because she wasn't able to get with her band. And so she's singing to a backing track, but her story and her voice, are enough to carry this as an incredible entry. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to make it so hard. And I'm saying that to myself about all the things in my life.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Gina Chavez. It was really wonderful. I loved your picks and I loved talking with you, and we should do something else again in the future.
Likewise.
And that
Bob,
Tiny
thank you so
Desk.
much.
Oh, sorry, cut you off.
No, I was just saying thank you.
My
Such a
pleasure. The Tiny Desk concert that she did 5 years ago or so, go watch it. And let's go out on Michaela Janae, The Annunciation. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Really appreciate it. It was fun to watch. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Michaela Janae, and this is my Tiny Desk entry. Due to COVID-19 and social distancing, I'm unable to have an accompanied musician today, but I will be singing to a track instead. And the name of the song is The Annunciation. It's the original work that I wrote myself, and I hope you enjoy. When I was 14, God gave me a dream. An angel came and told me I was created to sing, and the gift that I would carry and all the joy it could bring. But honestly, it scared me, but I said yes and believed. And I knew I needed to leave, 'cause I was a big fish in a small pond who needed the sea. So many nights I suffocated 'cause I couldn't breathe. No, it ain't easy being pregnant with a purpose so much bigger than me. Wade in the water, I'm waiting for my water to break. Waves underwater, God's gonna show up and shake. Wade in the water, I don't know how much more I can take. Waves underwater, God's gotta show up and shake. Trying to turn doubters into believers, removing the blinders so they can see you. It's all a part of the plan. Sometimes they won't understand you. May have to walk on your own, just know you're never alone. Every dreamer has been slept on. Sometimes you need them to prove them wrong, 'cause pain and delivery gives birth to a destiny. So wait in the water, wait for my water to break. Waves underwater, God's gotta show up and shake. Wait in the water, I don't know how much more I so they can see you. It's all a part of the plan. Sometimes they won't understand you. May have to walk on your own. Just know you're never alone. Every dreamer has been slept on. Sometimes you need them to prove them wrong. Cause pain and delivery gives birth to a destiny. Yeah. You see, I wrote this song for every dreamer and every believer to keep fighting, to keep striving, and to keep believing no matter what. I know we're living in such an uncertain time, dealing with this virus right now, and I know a lot of people in quarantine are in isolation, are dealing with depression, and they don't know how to feel about making a plan, as if making a plan is even worth it right now. But I just want to inspire you and encourage you to keep believing and to keep having hope and to keep striving for a dream and for a better tomorrow. My name is Michaela Janae, and God bless.